Hello and welcome back to my walkthrough series of the Cicada Detroit ARG. Today we're going to be talking about Puzzle 40, the third in-person puzzle. First we'll talk about round 1, then round 2, and lastly the all-online version of the puzzle that came out in late December. So without further ado, let's dive in. And when we left off, we were sitting outside post, at least I was, on Saturday morning at about 9:20, 9:25, and we were looking at this page. Alright, so 40.1, our URL slug is Catch Me If You Can. We have this, looks like a cipher text. We're going to take that, we're going to go to decode, paste that in, and we see that decode says it's probably a Rot or Caesar cipher, and those are basically the same thing. We'll go with Caesar, paste in our text, hit decrypt, and we'll see that with a shift of +7 or a shift of -19, 19 Roman numerals XIX, gives us this plain text. We have a URL, track.lightninggps.com/locator/ all of this stuff. Go to that URL, and we'll see it takes us to a map. This is in Grosse Pointe, part of Detroit, or Grosse Pointe Park. And here we can see a marker that says Baghdad, and for whatever reason it's fuzzy now, but there was a cow icon as his marker. I'm not sure why it's so blurry now. And in this case, it's at the last spot that the GPS was transmitting from before we turned it off. So at some point while he was driving through this area, he stopped transmitting, and this tracker is now just stuck on wherever it was last showing. Now this part was pretty tricky because Baghdad was actively driving around in his car, and if you didn't have a passenger in your vehicle with you, catching him is a little tricky because you're trying to go to wherever he is while also driving, and his location keeps changing, so you can't just put his location into your GPS and just go there. So I remember picking a spot on the map close to where he was, like on the GPS, plugging that into my phone, and then trying to drive to that spot, and then like frequently stopping to check to see if his GPS had changed significantly enough that I would need to put in a different location. And fortunately, he happened to stop at a Starbucks, the one on Mack Avenue, which I'll show you on the map now. Alright, so it's at this Starbucks here on Mack Avenue there, which is a 3-mile drive or about 8 minutes. And that time checks out. I know we had the GPS URL cracked at 9:26, and at 9:36 I took this picture in the parking lot of the Starbucks. As I recall, Baghdad was parked one of these spots here. I parked just, I think, in this spot or this spot, one of these two. As I recall, arriving on scene, I know Jack and Brighton, Solja, Max, and Bro were all in the parking lot there. I'm sure there are some other people that I just don't remember. It's been like 6 months, so actually longer than that. But anyhow, in the parking lot, we find Baghdad's car. You see it in the picture here. And in the other photo I showed in the close-up, there was a Cicada sticker with a QR code in the middle of it. That QR code just takes you to cicadadetroit.com. That sticker is old. It's from the Cicada Detroit soft launch back in 2024. It is not actually relevant to this puzzle. And moments after I took this photo, Baghdad actually peeled that sticker off of his car. But the other thing on the car you may notice is this big green slash right before the license plate. And as it turns out, his license plate number is the URL slug that we need to get for the next puzzle. So go to /DPP3211, and it'll take you to this page. And that brings us to puzzle 40.2, where we have this rotating cube with a bunch of pigpen symbols on one side of it, or 2 sides of it, and the other 4 sides are just the Cicada logo. If you mouse over it, it gets bigger, which I am just now learning for the first time, because first time I saw this puzzle, it was on my phone. I don't believe it has this effect if you clicked on it. Could be wrong though. Now the easiest way to do this is to take a screenshot of the pig pen when that side is showing. So we'll do that. Get a snip of that. Now you have that for reference, and then you can go to a pigpen decoder and type all this in. And for this I'll use the decoder from Decode. I remember while doing this puzzle, like in the actual round 1, Jack and I were at the parking lot of that Starbucks sitting outside, and he was reading off symbols from his phone or his laptop, I don't remember which, and I was typing them in on the laptop that I had. And in the heat of the moment, this pig pen is rather long to type in, especially since, like, what do you call half these symbols, right? So we were going like backwards L, U with a dot or U dot, square, backwards L, L dot, C dot, C dot, U dot, backwards L, R dot, and so on. Now I'll spare you having to watch me type it all in, so I'll skip ahead. Alright, we have our Pigpen all typed in. We'll hit decrypt, and we'll see that it says, take a look around outside the venue which shares a name with this cipher, and you will find your next puzzle. And another name for the Pigpen cipher is the Freemason cipher, or Masonic alphabet, or Masonic cipher, which means we need to go to the Masonic Temple in Detroit. And from that Starbucks to the Masonic Temple, it is about 9.6 miles, or 24-minute drive. At the temple, it looks like this. Here we have the Masonic Temple from Street View. I parked somewhere in this stretch, and I know Jack parked right behind me, and Soldier, Broad, and Max also arrived at just about the same time. And this is a metered section, but I remember not stopping to pay, just parking my car and then sprinting across the street, heading up the steps here. There was a woman waiting there at the top, and I had no idea what we were supposed to do at this site. And she yells out, "Are you here for the tour?" And Jack is also running across the street. And I was like, I don't know, maybe. And going up the steps, and I was like, I have no idea what we're doing at the site. Maybe we're just a tour. I don't know. She got really frustrated with us and figured out that we were not there for a tour. And then she threatened to call the cops on us if we didn't get off the steps here. So back onto the sidewalk, figured whatever we needed couldn't be on the building itself. And as it turns out, what we're actually looking for, we're on basically any one of the light poles along the road here. And you'll see in the picture here of a light pole and another light pole in the background with these Cicada stickers. They have a QR code on them. This picture I took at 10:05 a.m. You'll recall that puzzle 39 started at 9 a.m. So we are now reaching the ends of puzzle 40 just an hour and 5 minutes later. And a large portion of that time has been driving. Like you saw, getting to the temple was 20 to 30 minutes of driving, 10 miles from the Starbucks. And scanning that QR code brings us to puzzle 40.3, which is /sorcery vision. We have this image here. Looks like a bunch of clovers. We'll save this image. We'll see that it's called magiceye123.png. A magic eye, also called a stereogram, is a special type of 2D image that can create a 3D effect if you look at it like long enough or a certain way. I personally never see the image that you're supposed to see when you stare at these things. You're supposed to just focus on like a point, and then like an image will be revealed to you. If you're one of those people, you can just stare at this and you'll be able to see the message. I am not. So for people like me, there are tools out there. So we're going to use this stereogram solver. We'll open our file. And then here, scroll down. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can get that all on screen. We can change this like overlay displacement. And at certain points, you'll see that there is a message there. So here we have the Cicada logo. And you see that it says /sailboat.
What are you doing, Mom?
Looking for the hidden picture.
If you stare at these things long enough, you're supposed to see some kind of hidden three-dimensional picture.
Oh, yeah, look, it's a sailboat. You saw it too?
And going to /sailboat will take you to puzzle 41. So we will not do that today. We'll save that for the next video. Alright, and now for round 2. The URL for 40.1 on /catchmeifyoucan, the ciphertext rather, was different. It looked like this. And instead of this is what it was before, starting with AYHJR instead of MKTVD. Instead of being a shift of +7 or -19, this one was +19 or -7, which gives you the exact same URL, just encrypted differently. I don't know why this was changed. And then that'll once again take you to the same GPS page for you to track down Bugdad. This time, instead of being at a Starbucks, the time the round 2 players are doing this, he was just at his house. I'm not going to tell you where his house is. And during round 2, Sounds and I were doing the rounds, checking all the different puzzle locations, since she hadn't been there for round 1 to see any of them. And at this point, we decided to go hang out with Bugdad at his house and wait for the round 2 players to come through. which is where I took this great photo of sounds with Baghdad's car. You can see the round sticker with the cicada and the QR code has been removed. You can see a little of the adhesive is still on the car from that. And as before, his license plate has not changed, so the answer for the next puzzle is still /DPP3211. Which brings you to puzzle 40.2, which is exactly the same as in round 1. There's no changes here. It's the same pigpen cipher, which once again says, take a look around outside the venue, which shares a name with this cipher, and you will find your next puzzle. So once again, you go to the Masonic Temple, and I have some pictures of what that looked like in December. See that it looks a bit colder. You got the front steps of the building here. And at this point, Baghdad had gone back and added even more QR code stickers. So just about every single light pole in front of, or on that side of the street, has at least one, if not two, Cicada QR code stickers. Scan the QR code, you'll once again get to 40.3, which is the sorcery vision / magic eye puzzle. It's exactly the same, and you get /sailboat as a solution. And that finishes round 2. No major differences here, mostly the same. I unfortunately don't have any pictures of the players at round 2, although I don't really have much in the way of pictures of players at round 1 for puzzle 40 either, for that matter. And now, finally, we'll talk about the all-online version of this puzzle. Alright, so for the all-online version, this was first made available on December 18th. Puzzle 40.1 looks like round 2's puzzle. It's got the same ciphertext. However, we now have this extra part at the bottom that says decode the above and enter the location street name. So, decode the above, you get the URL for the GPS, takes you to this page. If you click on the icon for Baghdad, you'll see the last spot that he was transmitting from before he turned it off was on Fisher Road. So if we type in Fisher, hit enter, the page updates, and it says once at the location, they found the following. Here's a picture of the back of Baghdad's car with the license plate. So once again, we go to DPP3211, and we'll see that this page has extra stuff at the bottom as well. It says enter the location the above puzzle would have led you to. We'll type in Masonic space temple and hit enter. The page updates, and it says at the Masonic temple you would find the following, where we have a light pole with one of the QR code stickers, and then we just have a close-up of the sticker itself. Take that QR code. I'm just going to do this on my phone instead. Alright, and my phone was able to read it just fine. I'll throw up the screenshot on screen for you now. We'll see that it takes us to /sorcery vision. We go there, and puzzle 40.3 is exactly the same. No differences here. Solve the stereogram. It says /sailboat, which takes us to puzzle 41, which we'll save for the next video. Alright, so that concludes puzzle 40, both round 1, round 2, and the all-online version. Hope you enjoyed. If I missed anything, please let me know, and I'll make sure to cover it at the start of the next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.